Oh, hey, Ethan.
Jonathan, you're awake?
Yeah, what year is it?
It's 2016.
Oh, it's 2016? Please tell me that Suicide Squad, Warcraft, and Batman v Superman, they were good, right? Right?
Eh? Hey everybody, I'm Ethan.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm John.
We're here to review the new sci-fi thriller, romance, kind of comedy,
It's
Passengers.
kind of three things here.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to Passengers. I was kind of following its development for a while. Originally, it was going to be Keanu Reeves and Hathaway, and that's when I was most excited about it. And then I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, I remember this. This was a script that was blacklisted for being really good. And now that it came to fruition, we've seen it, I really enjoyed it. I think I got what I wanted.
You know,
I had a lot of fun with Passengers.
Yeah, following the release, I actually didn't care really for Passengers. I was thinking, okay, obviously they got the two biggest stars in Hollywood right now, Pratt, Jennifer Lawrence. It didn't look like it was going to be the most
We kind
well
of
put
dragged
together.
you to this one.
You kind of dragged me. I wasn't feeling it.
You were really trying to skip it.
I was kind of I was trying to skip it, but
La La Land.
I did want to go see La La Land instead. But I'm actually really glad I saw Passengers instead.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Passengers. I don't think I liked it as much as you guys did, but I still do agree it was a really solid, fun holiday movie.
All right, so let's just go jump into the pros first.
Gotcha.
First thing, I thought Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence had a lot. They were good on screen.
Yeah, they really made
They worked off each other well.
They made a very safe casting choice with those two. Obviously, a lot of charisma between the two. I'm very happy with that casting.
Right.
I'm very interested in what would have happened if they got Keanu Reeves.
All right, I don't
and
think it
Hathaway.
would pull off because I don't want to spoil anything in the movie, but the movie is kind of falsely advertised as being this really big sci-fi, cinematic, big epic film. And that's the one thing I want to let you guys know. This is not a big sci-fi film. This is a very quiet, small, very intimate movie that focuses about its characters.
Depending
I'd
on
say about that.
Depending on which part of the movie you analyze, because really we saw it.
I'm talking about as a whole.
Okay, because I saw it, and I believe you two saw it as well. It was cut into 3 arcs.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it was the first part was more of a moon style, man awake, no one else. And then what was it? Romance.
Yeah, romance.
And then space action.
I thought it felt a little like it didn't know what it wanted to do sometimes.
Maybe those 3 arcs.
Yeah.
Helped
Here's
that.
the weird thing, and I kind of want to disagree with you on that because in these arcs they were totally consistent for their 30-minute blocks.
Right.
So I felt like it was almost done on purpose. Like someone wanted to write 3 different movies. Like, oh yeah, maybe we could do it like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. But anyways, back to the characters.
It is a little jarring to see such a change, and you can clearly tell when the changes happen. Like you said, they're all done very well for their blocks, but it could be a little jarring. I can see why you could not like that portion.
It felt more to me like they were trying to appeal to everybody, and less like it was
3 different audiences.
Unless like it was 3 consistent chapters, but I think that's just a difference of personal taste, honestly, between you and I.
Sure.
Also, props to a android in this movie who is actually really charming.
God, what was his name?
Arthur.
Yeah, Arthur.
Arthur is great.
Arthur
He was
was
an awesome supporting character.
The android bartender. A lot of enthusiasm with him. I liked him a lot.
It was a lot of fun. The next thing, I thought that visually, for the most part, this is a really cool movie. For the practical stuff.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed the environment they're in. That the spaceship Avalon is a really cool environment, and you can see them walking around a lot of it, just navigating. It's really cool. It's very, like you said, it's very visually interesting, and I liked the environment specifically.
I think they did a good job of making you feel kind of stranded in space with these 2 people. They feel like, because the first portion is when Chris Pratt wakes up too early from hibernation, almost takes us just almost like stranded on a desert island type of movie.
Right.
And I feel like that whole portion was just dedicated to making you realize how alone he was and how desperate he was, and that they did a really good job of that.
There's a very cool scene where he first goes out on a spacewalk, and it just immortalizes how alone he feels. And I thought, wow, that was just a really good scene.
But it was just how small you are in such a huge
and they made it very clear with multiple shots of the huge expanse of space that he's very alone, and throughout the time that he spends there, you get to see how alone he really is, and I thought that was really cool.
So what did you guys not like about this movie?
Okay.
Okay, like we said earlier, this movie is kind of divided into 3 different blocks, and the movie is marketed as being 1/3 of those blocks, which is being a big
action
thriller in space.
Disaster movie,
Yeah.
almost.
And it's really not that. So that's the biggest flaw. Actually, the biggest flaw I have with the movie is that it's really mismarketed. And I think that's why critics kind of had a harsh reaction to it. Because if you're going in expecting a really cool, like,
Space.
non-stop in space,
Yeah.
and then you end up getting more or less like
And then-
a romance.
And
Mixed
then
with moon,
the part you are looking forward to doesn't come until, let's say, the last third of the movie.
Right.
It can feel a little slow, a little dragging on, depending on what you're
shorter
looking.
than that, I even say.
Depending on what you're looking forward to going to this movie, it could feel boring. It could feel very slow paced. I actually thought it was very slow paced for a little bit of it. Maybe towards the beginning when you're just getting accustomed to. There's no one around. He's solo in space. I did feel it drag on for a little while, but after that, once it got the ball rolling with other events, it smoothed out for me, really.
Another issue I had was that they focused a lot of their money on the practical effects. It looked like all the practical stuff was really cool. Everything inside the spaceship was great.
Right.
However, when they did kind of do these spacewalks, which happened
A few points throughout the movie.
Right. It didn't look that convincing as it should have to me. I thought that some of the stuff looked a little bit untextured, and I was just like, wow, that... And it wouldn't have been that bad if this were just like an indie film, but since this was a big budget, it had $100 million, it just kind of took me out of the movie, especially when everything else looked so aesthetically pleasing.
I'm actually going to disagree with you there. I thought there was a lot of stuff inside the spaceship, mainly like, there were a few, like, some of the bots didn't look great to me.
Okay.
There are a lot of little cleaner bots around there. Little things like that kind of like threw me off. Like, okay, that didn't look great. At one point, something falls and almost hits someone, and it's like, that did not look good. Whereas the exterior shots where they're walking around in space and they're interacting with things outside the spaceship, I thought those things looked great.
So, I guess it's just a matter of taste and like what your eyes pick up. I mean, Ethan is blind as a bat without glasses.
I got nothing.
True.
I mean, he's not really the person that should be telling you guys about
All
this.
right.
All right. All things considered, I had a lot of fun with Passengers, but what did you guys think? What's your score?
John, what you got?
I really liked the concept of this movie going in. I think it's a really solid, simple but interesting concept for a movie. I think overall what I got from this, I think you guys mentioned this word a couple times, this movie just struck me as very just safe overall.
Yeah.
The casting was extremely safe.
Plot was a little unoriginal, but still safe and interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of tried to appeal to everybody with the plot. I think that Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt didn't have a ton of chemistry or charisma necessarily, but they were a solid couple on screen. Overall, I thought this movie was a lot of fun, a solid holiday movie. Not particularly memorable though, so I'll give it 3 out of 5 stars.
All right, Jonathan, what you got?
You know what? I had a lot of fun with Passengers. A lot more fun than I thought I was going to have.
Yeah.
I was just really brought into... What really invested me in the movie was its characters. I really liked Chris Pratt. I really liked Jennifer Lawrence. Some other side people / androids. Don't want to spoil anything, but there are other things, other actors that come in that are, oh, wow, he looks good. He's cool. He's good. I really liked the concept of the movie, and I was really glad that it wasn't what it was marketed to be, because if it was just a generic space movie, I would have been really disappointed. And what I got was a really interesting, fun holiday blockbuster that kind of had everything I wanted. And like you guys said, it played it safe and it tried to appeal to all these different audiences. That's what made it so fun. You did have your comedic moments, you had
your action, you had
some
your
pretty good romance, and you
I
had
agree.
some pretty good action.
Right.
All that was done very well. Which is why I'm going to go ahead and give Passengers a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Alrighty, I am right with you there. I wasn't totally excited for Passengers. I actually was on the opposite side of the spectrum, and I wasn't very looking forward to it. I just didn't really care all that often. But as soon as I came out of it, I was very happy with what I got. Actually, the thing I liked most about Passengers was its scripts. Like you said, it was blacklisted in, 2014 or 15?
Something like that.
Around that area for being a really good script, and coming out of it, I noticed that was a really good script. Not necessarily because of Chris Pratt or Jennifer Lawrence, just because I liked these characters written. I like the visuals a lot. I like all the blocks that they did. All of them were done really well. The romance, the action, and the man alone in space portions were all done really well. So I surprisingly liked Passengers a lot. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Alright guys, make sure to like this video and subscribe to get more of this content. Let us know what you thought of the review and what you thought of Passengers in general. For Stubmaster Reviews, I'm John.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Ethan.
Have a great day.